Hi, this is the Horror Story Project. Our team is conformed by Ulises Aguilar, Jorge Galvez, Jordan Rosas, Luis Ociel Cantero, Eric Obregón, Luis Eduardo Vega. And our story is the legend of the Charro Negro.
The legend of the Black Charro. When the sun begins to set and the chickens climb the trees to sleep, the mothers bring their children inside. The doors of the house are locked, and the travelers hurry their way while praying. No one wants to meet the Charro Negro. He's an entity named for his clothing. Whenever he appears, he wears an elegant black charro outfit with gold or silver details. He can be seen mounted on his horses, a large animal, whose eyes are two balls of fire that seem to dig into the victim's souls. We city dealers are lucky, because the Charro Negro only lurks in the outskirts of the city, and appears to those who travel alone.
They say it is because lonely people are easy prey. Perhaps it is because of the fear they feel, and that sometimes incites them to make bad decisions. But did you know that this specter once belonged to the world of the living? Legend has it that it was a man betrayed by his own ambition and greed. The beginning of the curse. The Charro came from a humble family. His parents, although they loved him, could never fulfill his whims. The Charro always liked to be well dressed, sometimes not even eating for days, to save a few pesos, and with the money he saved, he could complete a good hat. However, he was tired of his endless poverty. No matter how hard he worked, the money never enough, and he had to walk around all day with his hand full of dirt.
Sometimes later, his parents died. Left alone, Charro's misery increased considerably, and he made a decision that would change his life. He invokes the devil to ask him for wealth. It isn't known how he succeeds, but finally Lucifer appeared. That entity knew how to read the eyes and the spirit of the man who had called him. So he offered him amounts of money that not even in 2 lifetimes could he spend. The only thing he asked for in exchange was his soul. El Charro at that time was healthy and brave, so the morning star had not managed to scare him, and he accepted. Time went by, and little by little, the Charro's youth began to say goodbye. Suddenly, he realized that he was tired of spending his wealth on women, gambling, wine, and expensive suits.
At the same time, the feeling of loneliness squeezed his chest and barely let him breathe. No one loved him for what he was, but for the riches he possessed, collecting the debt. El Charro had already forgotten about that crushed him. That is why when the devil appeared to remind him what that the hour of the debt collection was near, he was free intended as never before. Terror invaded our protagonist to the last corner of his entrails. He remembered his debt and, out of cowardice, began to hide. He ordered the staff of his ascended place crosses all over his property and to build a small chapel. However, the memory in the outstanding debt prevented his month he had left to life.
So, in a fit of fear, he took his best horse along with a bag containing a few unspent gold coins. He set out on the journey during the night, so that no one would see him flee. However, the devil realized that the Charro would go back on his word, so he appeared again in front of the rider and his horse, but this time, in order to take away, I was going to wait for you to die to collect the debt you owe me, but since you are covertly hiding, I will take you, said the devil. El Charro didn't have time to answer. When he realized his horse, riding up, tried to kill the devil, but it was too late. His master arms had begun to dry up and his flesh to disappear. Only Charro's trust remained on top and whitish bones. The devil spoke again.
I see that your beast is faithful to you. Therefore, it must be cursed just like you and condemned to accompany you in your journey to hell. Although, from time to time, I want you to do something for me, to collect from my debtors. If you do your job well, I'll let the man who accepts the bag of gold coins you bring take your place. Since then, the man was condemned to suffer countless torments in hell and live there, only to collect from those who have outstanding debts with Lucifer. This in the hope that one night, some traveler betrayed by his greed will take his place. Only then will the black Charro and his horse be able to rest in peace.